Good morning, Grace family. Welcome back. So excited to be able to say those words to you once again as we start the 2020-2021 school year. It's been a long time coming, but here we are. This year will be filled with challenges, but it'll also be filled with joys. And that's our theme for this school year, joy in the journey. It comes from Philippians chapter 4, verse 4, which reads, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice." You see, our joy isn't dependent on our surroundings. Our joy, the source, comes from Christ, who's done everything for us. You are his redeemed child, and that's where joy comes from for daily living. And so when we face the challenges of this school year, we'll be able to do so with joy, knowing that our hope is secure in Christ and what he's done for us. So I'm looking forward to this school year, for going through this school year with you. Can't wait to get it started. As we get ready to begin the year, there are a number of different things to go through. A lot of these things will be good reminders. A lot of these things will be brand new for our new Grace families. And there are some things that will be new for everyone. So, normally, we'd get together and do this meeting in person, but because of some of the restrictions with COVID-19, felt it would be best to just have a video version for you this year. So, let's get started. As we begin this new school year, it's important to highlight some communication expectations. These are things that will help grow our relationships as brothers and sisters in Christ, and will help us to let our light shine to the world around us. If we make a focused effort to be honest in everything, and to be loving, and to honor others above ourselves, to be humble, recognizing that we too are sinners, to be patient and forgiving, to build others up instead of tearing them down, to keep our tongues under the control of a heart that's ruled by Jesus' love, to salt our conversation with talk of Jesus and the Christian life, and to talk about things worth treasuring. If we do these things, that will have a profound impact on our relationships with each other and with those in the world around us. Alright, so when you are coming from school, if you're approaching from the east or coming from the west, you're going to want to use this first driveway here. This is the driveway that you'll both enter and exit. Those other two driveways you won't use. So you'll come right down this straightaway. And you're going to follow this path all the way down. And then once you get to the end here, you're going to loop around. And you're going to come right up alongside this sidewalk. Now, if you're dropping off in the morning, you're going to pull up as far as you can right here, and you're gonna say, "See you, kids. Have a great day. Love you. Bye."
Bye.
And then they run to school with joy in their hearts. Close up the door, and then there are two driveways out here. We're not going to use those. Instead, we're going to travel over this way. And we're going to exit out the same driveway that we came in. So that is the procedure for dropping off your kids in the morning. Then you head straight out here and have a fantastic day. Now you're probably saying to yourself, okay, I got the drop-off procedure down, But what about the pickup procedure? Well, this year, the pickup procedure is going to be slightly different. We are going to stagger our dismissal times in order to limit the congestion in the hallways, so that groups from different classrooms aren't running into each other, and just to overall alleviate some of that congestion. So we're going to have some groups dismissed at 3:20 and other groups dismissed at 3:30. You can see the chart here of the different groups and what time they will be dismissed. Now, when you come to pick up your kids, you're going to enter through the same driveway that you would for drop-off in the morning. You're going to come through and you're going to loop all the way around, and you'll pick up your children right here at this sidewalk. Now, one thing that's different this year, instead of sitting here and waiting for your kids to come out, if your kids aren't ready right away, if they're not out there, then we're going to ask that you would go back and loop around in line. That way, those kids that are ready to go can get picked up, and those parents can head right out rather than sitting back here and waiting for the line to creep forward. Now, you might be saying to yourself, yeah, but I don't want to have to keep driving around and around and around waiting for my kid. That's going to waste a lot of gas, Mr. Belke. Great point. So for those people that would prefer not to loop around and around, what you can do is when you pull in, you can park in one of these many spaces and wait till you see your kids ready to be picked up. And then what you can do is simply get back in line, loop around through, pick up your child, and away you go. And it might take a little bit, especially for those of you who have children in multiple classes. You might be looping around several times, or you might just say, you know what, my kids who are out at 3:20 are just going to have to wait till 3:30 till the other kids are out, and I'll pick them all up in one fell swoop and be on my way. So those are the pickup procedures that we're going to try this year. They are subject to change if we find it's just not working, but we think this is a solution that will keep everyone socially distanced and allow for a more seamless and quicker pickup procedure. One additional item to note is that while we are discouraging parents from coming into the building during Phase 4, if you need to, we ask that you would enter through this driveway, park in this lot, and then exit through this driveway. One important item related to pickup and drop-off procedures are the school start and end times. The school day starts at 8 o'clock. So by 8 o'clock, we mean that kids are in their seat ready to learn at 8 o'clock. They can arrive as early as 7:35. That's when the doors open. If students come before 7:35, they can wait in the entryway until we open the doors. The school day ends at 3:20 or 3:30, depending on which dismissal time your child has, depending on what class they're in. Or if they're in the after-school care program, they can be picked up as late as 5:30 in the evening. One of the questions that often gets asked is, hey, Mr. Belke, who has to wear masks? That's an excellent question. First off, those who are in preschool through 5th grade only need to wear masks in common areas. They are not required to wear them in the classroom. They may if they so choose, but they're not required to. And by the way, these restrictions apply to Phase 4. If we are in Phase 5, a number of these things turn to recommendations from requirements. That being said, 6th through 8th graders have to wear masks anytime they're in the building. So if they're in the classroom, they have to wear a mask. If they're in the hallways, they have to wear a mask. The only time they wouldn't have to wear a mask is if they're outside or when they're eating lunch. Another question that often gets asked is, hey, Mr. Belke, what kind of masks are okay? Or actually, facial coverings. That's what the documentation says. So what kinds of things are okay to cover my face with? Well, medical grade face masks. Boom, done. Or you can get some fancy ones made for you It might make your ears look a little big, but that's okay. Other options would be a neck gaiter scarf kind of deal. And one of the things that you want to remember is to cover your nose and mouth. So wear it correctly. Covering the nose and the mouth, okay? You just got to put it on right. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, if you just have it on here, well, it's covering part of my face, but it's not doing anything. So let's make sure that we're wearing them correctly. One other option would be a face shield. See, this is another option for you, for those who don't care to wear these. Or you could wear multiple things and, well, I can't get that on over it, but you get the idea. So, facial coverings are required in Phase 4, common areas for pre-K through 5, and anywhere in the building for students in 6th through 8th grade. One additional thing to mention with masks is these days you can get masks that have all kinds of different patterns and sayings and things of that nature. We want to make sure that all of our masks or facial coverings still follow our dress code. So we don't want things like scary skulls or creepy clowns or things with political messages. We just want things that have nice patterns or sports teams or things of that nature. So please make sure when you're picking out a mask for your child to wear to school that it adheres to the regulations in our dress code. Another facial covering related question is, what if I'm not medically able to tolerate a facial covering? What should I do? That's a great question. We ask that for those people who cannot medically tolerate a facial covering, that they would get a note from their doctor addressing this and bring that to the school office. Or if you're not able to get into the doctor, simply fill out a form that we have on file here at school, which will then be reviewed by our health and safety team. Another COVID-related item that we're asking parents to help us out with is daily temperature screenings. We ask that each family would take their child's temperature before they send them to school each day, and if the temperature is 100.4 or greater, that you would keep your child home. This year when we're in Phase 4, we're asking that parents would limit their time in the school building to only those times that are essential. And when you come into the building, that you wear a mask. If you need to get in touch with the office, you can simply call or send an email. If you need to get in touch with your child's teacher, same thing, you can call or email. If you absolutely have to be in the building for one reason or another, we ask that you would wear a mask and limit your time inside. There may be instances like signing your child out for a doctor's appointment where you need to come into the building, and that's fine, but we want to limit our time in the building. The one exception to this would be the first day of school. That's a special day, and it's an important day for getting the school year started on the right foot. So on that day, we are allowing families to come in with their children if they wear a mask. Limit your time in the building, but you can walk your child to their classroom. You can take a picture with them at their desk, and then we ask that you would leave promptly so that we don't have too much congestion in the school building that day. We also want to note that that's not going to set a precedent for the rest of the year. The rest of the year, we ask that you would say goodbye to your child at the doors and let them walk into the building on their own. If needed, we can have a teacher aide come and walk them to their class. We know it may be tough for some families, but we ask that you would respect this procedure. We love that when our school parents come in the morning and drop off their kids, they like to stay and chat and talk with each other and hang out. And we want to encourage that to continue. However, we ask that you not do that in the school building. If you want to congregate outside of the school building, socially distant, of course, that would be perfectly fine. Many people were wondering, are you going to have after-school care this year? And the answer to that question is yes. Now, just want to remind everyone the purpose of after school care is to assist working families who aren't able to get their children by the end of the day, or if there's an emergency that comes up and you're not able to get your child right away at the end of the school day. It's not a babysitting service, a daycare program, or for children's play dates. So if you're able to pick them up, or if you're on campus, you are responsible for the supervision of your children. This is currently a free program that is sponsored by a member of the congregation who pays all the expenses for you. This may not continue in the future, but currently it is available. So we're thankful for this tremendous blessing, and we ask that as part of the process this year that you would register your children for after school care. This will help us get an accurate number on how many students will be there so that we can plan accordingly. One of the big questions on everyone's mind is, what about lunch? Well, initially, we had planned on some of the classes eating in their classroom and others eating downstairs, but we're going to try having everyone eat in their classrooms to start the year. We're going to have to do a lot of cleaning, but we think that we can make this work. Additionally, we are going to be offering hot lunch this year, and that won't start until September. Next week, we'll send out some more information about what lunch will look like and what options that will be available for you and your child. But for the first 2 weeks of school, you'll need to pack a lunch for your kid. One of the unique communication tools that we plan to make use of this year is the Blooms app. Last year we had a few classrooms pilot this app. This year we're going to have every classroom with their own unique code. There will also be a school code that will give you updates and information on items that pertain to our entire student body. So, make note of the code for your child's classes. Download the Blooms app, either from the Android or Apple App Store, and then punch in, or you can go online as well, and then simply punch in the class code, and it will connect you in with your child's classroom. Each year, one of the biggest questions I usually get from the handbook centers around what students can and cannot wear. So, we're going to take a look at some of the handbook highlights regarding dress code. For a full list, please check out your school manual. Oh, good morning, kids. Getting ready for school?
Yeah, is my outfit according to dress code?
Well, let's see. I see you're wearing leggings, and I see you're wearing shorts. Okay, so the dress code rule is that the shorts go down to the bottom of your fingertips. So go ahead and set your hands at the side. Oh, those are plenty long. You're all set. And if you're wearing leggings, you want to make sure that the shirt you're wearing on top goes down to the ends of your fingertips. Turn to the side. Perfect. Yep, you guys are both good to go. We'll see you in a couple hours at school.
Thanks, Dad.
Bye.
Hey, Dad, I'm all ready for school.
Oh, this is a great example. Okay, so last year for boys, sleeveless shirts were not allowed, but that's a change this year. As long as they have a nice hem on there, boys can wear shirts without a sleeve, just like girls. And I believe the handbook says 2 inches on that shoulder strap. So you're all set. Have a great day. Now you gotta run to school.
Hey, Dad, can I wear this shirt to school?
That's a good question, Chloe. Unfortunately, the answer is no, because that's a shirt that's from a music group. And our handbook says that you can't wear any shirts from music groups. And you might say, but Dad, for King and Country is a Christian group. Why can't I wear that? Well, we've said no music groups because I don't want to have to sit there and read all the lyrics from all the different groups to find out if the group is good or not. So we just stay away from all music groups at school. But that'd be a great shirt to wear at home.
Okay, well, it didn't really fit me anyway.
So one last dress code requirement or restriction that we want to make sure to touch on is hair color. The dress code says only natural hair colors are allowed. So that means, like this, while they look cool and may make you feel cool, not okay. Save these kind of hairstyles for the summer months. And when you come back to school, we're ready to learn. These are just some of the things that I felt were important to share with you this year as we get the new year rolling. You most certainly have other questions, and to answer those questions, please contact your child's teacher or Mrs. Sempert in the school office, or reach out to me. We'd be happy to answer any and all of those questions that you have. There are a lot of changes this year, a lot of new things that we'll have to deal with, but we pray that God would bless us all so that we can have joy in the journey as we go throughout this school year, growing together in faith as a family.